There should be here. Yeah. Seems to be working. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a dip of a toe into Absolver, which I've been wanting to do this entire month, but unfortunately, the entire week and the week before that and the week before that have been keeping me from doing exactly so. So Absolver is a game I've been interested in playing for a while now. It is characterized by its free flow combat form, or combat mechanics if you will, and its slightly loud music volume and sound effects, which we have now lowered a bit in the hopes that you can perfectly hear me now. There's a camera speed, a camera shake mechanic. So anyway, been meaning to look into this, so judging from the controls, I have a feeling that this will be way easier to play with a mouse and a keyboard, but hey, let's go. So Absolver has a background story I am somewhat unfamiliar with. So I'm going to see if I can't give you a rundown of sorts, or we can just discover it in-game. Although here's a blurb that can explain it way better than I can. So basically, in the ruins of the fallen Adal Empire, you awaken with a mysterious mask in your face and faint recollections of an esoteric ceremony. Freeing you from hunger, thirst, and even death, the mask is the creation of the guides, the rulers of the lands, who have placed you to determine whether you are worthy of becoming part of the elite corps of Absolvers. As you wander these forsaken lands, encountering other prospects like you will learn new combat styles, acquire weapons, gear, armor, and build a team of warriors with whom to fight side by side in arenas of combat. So basically, you are recruited into a battle royale. And unfortunately I have little background on the actual tribes, as well, you will simply have to contend with the Karshi being dark-skinned, the Lake Reaper slightly less, Yuring slightly less, the Tyr slightly less, and the Orid and Ice Marshes guys being, well, more or less just pale. Yes, I don't know, let's go with the Tyr, because I have a feeling we are going to cry once we get familiar with this. Before we get familiar with this game, even once we get familiar with it, I don't know yet. So you can choose from a lot of hairstyles. Interestingly enough, this is a male hairstyle as well as a female. So yeah, liberal kind of game. Let's go with, I don't know. Let's go with bald. Oh, and actually you can have hair color in different shapes and forms. But for the sake of simplicity, we shall stick with bald. Now then. You can actually customize combat styles somewhat, but you start off with a basic style, and each of these styles has an active ability. So Forsaken is something like a balanced combat style, so okay defense, okay offense. And you have active abilities, such as parry, which I think speaks for itself. Then you have absorb, which improves mainly strength and vitality. It's probably the recommended style because it's the easiest to pick up. There's evasion, which is for some reason easier than parry. Actually for understandable reasons, but I don't know, I would argue avoiding is usually a tougher job than parrying. But maybe it's down to game mechanics. So windfall is basically a principle of, I don't know, wind and water, aikido, whatever. So with that being said, hey, let's actually use this style. And we can pick a name. So we're just going to pick I like getting creative with names. I don't know if you do. I sure do. Let's go with maybe it's the heat, but this time I got nothing, so let's just go with let's just go with G. Because hey, why not? Something about me and always going creative with names. Like, I never call characters the same if I can help myself. And a account name that's different, but a character, I don't know. I just have this obsession to call it whatever, man. Okay, so from what we can tell, we're in a temple. And we've been picked out by the Elder. And some sort of deity or singularity being has empowered our mask. That is all the context I can get out of this right now. Which makes me question, is this reality? Is this reality or... who knows? I think we're supposed to find out over the course of the game what exactly is happening. I think that's supposed to be part of the journey. Which I don't mind. That's a very good thing. Of course you have emotes. You can request co-op, declare fights, and you can declare your cluelessness. I recall vaguely from, I think it was NE3, that you are supposed to absolve lost souls or something like that. Right, so anyway, R1 locks targets, and we can simply change target by holding R1 and hitting R. Otherwise, R is for dodging. We have a stamina bar. And some sort of heal. Combat deck has 4 stances. Okay. By hitting R2. Oh, we can face back. We can face fourth. Right hand fourth. Left hand fourth. Alright, that's pretty much something I'm familiar with. Okay, and as we attack, our stance changes. So the combat deck is basically our orientation. So like this we have a back faced, like this we have a front faced. Back, back, front. It's very basic, but I love it because you can really pull some advanced moves with this system. Okay, so if I do this, I attack, but if I do this, I feint and attack. I don't know if we can actually open this like this. Ah, there we go. I think we have to face the door directly. So there's a feint. I guess these are still training dummies. I'm gonna quickly open this door and see if there's anything collectible otherwise. These look very idle, but defeating them anyway apparently grants us XP. Even if it's, you know, kind of unfair. And let me just go and... Well, first let me figure out if we can use this ladder. Apparently we can't. Which is weird because I would have thought we could. Uh, I think the ability at the bottom right is for health regeneration, in case we lose any. But for now, let me quickly be right back because I need to... Oh hey, a menu. Is there a map? Is there anything the touchpad does? No, apparently not. But let me just be right back, put this cup away, this cup of tea of mine, before the tea leaves dry out and make it very unwashable. So I'll be right back. And I returned, just had to remember that I forgot to announce my stream. Although to be fair, it's a bit of a surprise stream, because they usually start at 3 PM Central European time. But regardless of that, we can only currently configure equipment, and we can get elbow protections apparently, shoulder protection, gloves, tunic, undertop, a sash, quite a lot actually. There's some stats, shards, and yeah, there are going to be weapons eventually. But first, we're going to delve into... Yeah, I really can't break a thing here. We're going to delve into wherever this path leads us. Okay, we're dodging a little too much. Bit of a faint overkill there. Let's see, is there another openable door? No. But this looks rather ominous. And I don't know if we can interact with it. This was supposed to be a shop or an inn. As we can see, the town is rather... Oh, we can open this? And is this? Is this supposed to be a stone of guidance that tells us what to do? Because it would appear that the stone, as we interact with it, tells us to find and defeat Silent, who is no doubt not behind this rock, but up here. And just before we go, I wanted to make sure of something. The door doesn't open from this side, and we can't exactly knock it open. So evidently we have to find a way around, and these stairs look like the convenient way around. So I keep meaning to hit L1 for blocking. But really as L2. I could actually rebind it if I wanted to, but I want to see if I can get used to this. Which isn't going too well. Okay, so as we level up, I assume we can meditate and level up through meditation. A concept I actually used to enjoy in a game called Nine Dragons. A very grindy Korean game, so mobility isn't something we can spec into, I think. Yeah, mobility is basically the result of our I guess armor class. And the less mobility we have, the more damage we deal. The more mobility we have, the less damage we deal. And of course you have other stats such as Will, which is about storing and releasing tension in shards that requires significant mental effort. The quantity of tension caught and stored in a shard when performing successful defensive abilities. So I guess that's our... I'm actually not sure what it affects. I think we'll learn that later on. Maximum stamina. The stamina bar we've met before, it's the one down in the middle. And through it we can chain attacks, but also dodge. I don't know, I guess Will is supposed to... I guess Will is supposed to determine how much damage you can actually block or mitigate before somebody breaks through. I'm guessing, mind you. Let's see, Vitality is about your HP. Dexterity, I believe, is movement. Or it increases the damage of attacks based on dexterity. So I'm guessing fast weapons, maybe cutting weapons even. Or light attacks even. That could as well be a thing. But having said all that, let's just put a point into dexterity, because Since we have picked a mobile style, we might as well stay consistent and keep it up with the tap attacks. Now what's this? This is... I'm not even sure what this is. This is just a heavier mask that offers us more protection against cutting attacks. And I'm guessing we equally have... Yes, we do. We have heavier ropes, heavier pants, and these simply allow us to tolerate more damage. However, they do slow down our mobility, our timing in terms of reaction. Okay, so this is a bit... Yeah, so of course you can duck, jump or sidestep. If you notice a low attack fast enough, jumping has to be actually rather amazing. It's basically against low sweeps, high attacks, and almost anything aside from flanked attacks. But if you do any martial arts in real life, you will probably be familiar with these concepts. Now then, this door doesn't really do a lot other than allow us a shortcut in case we, I guess, ever return to that point. And we drew aggro, I think. Or did we? Okay, there's Silan. Wow, and... we handled him smoothly. So this is basically still the intro stage, but I'm led to believe that this game is mostly PvP and PvE content has been added rather recently. So we might look at some of that. But for now, intro seems fair. And from here on out, I'm guessing this is where we return to the courtyard down there. By the way, we can of course sprint. On the PS4 it's by hitting L3 by default. But like I said, you can always rebind keys if you're for some reason not able to get used to certain I guess sequences of button mashes. Who's this guy? I'm Talon. I will try to help you as you progress, but if you lose yourself to the fold, I won't be able to save you. Those who wear the masks are not all your enemies, you know. I will not attack you. When you are safe, you can enter meditation and practice your combat deck. Okay, don't worry, you're safe when in meditation. Go in meditation now and practice your combat deck. So, is this training mode? Or am I misunderstanding? Okay, you have a bare hands deck, you have a war gloves deck, you have a sword deck. I am not sure. Oh. 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 Okay, so this is where you can customize combat, basically. Or figure out how your combat works. No, you can actually customize. So you can have... This is a rather normal attack sequence. You punch and punch harder, okay. This is a regular kick, which is, I'm guessing, achieved by holding down triangle, though I might be wrong. And you can actually define by which attack you choose in what orientation you will finish. So these attacks end in a left stance, usually. These usually end in a right stance. Is at least what I'm taking away from this. And these are spin attacks. And let's see, get some details on what the target is. You have high, mid, low. You have thrust movements, which can be dodged with sidestepping. You have horizontal movements, which can be sidestepped away from, but not sidestepped into. That's probably diagonal too, but... Oh, there we go. So in this case we have a jump light kick. And say if we wanted to go by a high-low principle, Amawashi is basically a spin kick. Bending palm we have seen before, but in this event, it's customized with a high kick, low kick. Although this is a rather slow sequence, so that is something to keep in mind. This is basically blocking and counterattacks, if I understood correctly. Or it's just... I mean, Sotoke is, if you translate it, receive the outside. Or receive the other side. Actually, what are these? These are... Okay, these are basic hand and feet attacks. Good to know. And apparently, maybe it's just me, but it feels like there's some sort of progress over here in terms of unlocking certain moves based on what you practice, I assume. So let's customize this one. So we could go here from a Satoke. Oh, we can actually add a chain. But... Oh. Oh. But what we can do is understand what our attacks can chain into. That is interesting. So wait, if we finish in a frontal stance, it might make sense to... Let's see, there's a jumping attack. Okay, and you can actually see here, based on the ratings on the right hand side, by the way, if you have noticed, how dependent these attacks are on certain attributes you have. So say a jumped light kick isn't much of an attack, but it's a good opener. Is what I'm guessing the bottom icon means. And these attacks, yeah. A hook, for example, is more dependent on strength, but also somewhat dependent on dexterity. Oh, anyway, you can also customize alternative attacks. And I'm now beginning to understand that there is some sort of system involved here. Some sort of system where one attack can easily chain into the other, so... So this attack can change into the first one and the second one. Meanwhile, this alternative attack, the bending palm, can chain into a surging palm as well as a sotoke, depending on what you want to achieve. And in terms of starting positions, I believe these are locked as they are. So by definition, this attack and hold on, let me actually check something. Okay, so where the stance finishes also determines how the attack sequence ends. Left hand side is where it starts, right hand side is where it ends in terms of your stance. This is something you could spend ages on customizing, I guess. So now fast back fist is a great idea. But I'm currently trying to figure out... Okay, with an illusion twist kick we can attack while we avoid a low attack. With a low spin heel we can avoid high attacks while performing a low attack. Okay, so it's rather evident that every attack has maybe an ability to be changed to certain abilities. So if I say jump and kick, can I do this? No, apparently that is... Mind you, I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm, for instance, still trying to figure out how exactly to perform a strafing attack. I know a strafe, but a strafing attack seems rather complex to perform. Okay, so judging by what I'm seeing, this is how I perform a strafing attack. Yeah, there we go. This is a defense breaker. Helps us avoid low attacks. And what we can do is hold on, so these are only frontal attacks. Is there a way I could no? So I have to contend with these four in terms of whether or not I want dodging attacks to basically be a thing. So if I say I wanted to incorporate a low dodge into my combat deck, I could, hold on a sec, I could equip this, and so whenever I'm in this stance, this is the high and this is the low. So that way, by switching into the back right stance, I can alternate between low dodges and high dodges seamlessly, as well as strafing attacks. So there we have it. This is one way to customize my deck. So for now, let's stick with this. We can also edit our decks in terms of armed combat. But this, for now, this is just good enough. You can eventually unlock up to 4 decks, as you can see. And there are eventually going to be more options, but for now let's get back into the game. And let's see, this is probably where we get to practice our combat deck. And oh boy, that was beautiful. Have you seen that low kick? That is one of the intricacies the game introduces. Simply a combat system that, yes, it is easy to learn, but it is so heavily customizable despite its simplicity that you can incorporate quite a few moves in there. Or even combos. So that happened. And I don't know if we get more intro at this point, or if we jump straight into what Absolver really is. Or shall I say straight into the game world with other players. It's actually pretty amazing, that view. I like how some leaves just stick to you. It's a cute attention to detail. Now of course this isn't a hyper-realistic game, but you can still be thrown or simply voluntarily walk off of cliffs into the water and end up respawning because the game is so merciful. And you're probably gonna end up dying a lot against players anyway. But no, what I was going to say is the game isn't going to be impeccable in terms of graphics, but it does its job. It presents a beautiful world. The design is at first you might not get used to it, but eventually it grows on you. And I'm just noticing those things are actually the shards, I think, that the game is talking about. I don't even know, are there magic attacks? I guess we'll see at some point. Right, there are stairs leading up and down. Question is this a friendly NPC? And what can we do on the altar? Is this how we bind ourselves to a location? Ooh! Ermergerd? What's this? Rift coin, an old artifact dating from the Adalian Empire, made of the essence infused silver? Made of an essence infused silver, I should rather say. An initial incantation starts to spin, another charges the diamond-shaped frame. As it reaches a high velocity, the coin enters in resonance, shattering it and opening a rift to the folded dimension, for which a random object can be called. This is probably also known as a loot box. Rift discs. They cost crystals to purchase. They're improved versions of Rift coins. Rift discs were developed by the Adalian channelists in the research chambers of the Imperial Library. They have the same essential properties but can generate a more powerful rift in a folded dimension through which free items can be called and unfolded. I'm guessing there's some farming involved, because I haven't heard of any microtransactions. Oh yeah, you can... Okay. Okay. Level 1000, 2000, 3000, so I guess the game expects you to be fighting a lot. I don't know how the scaling works out yet. These are some interesting masks. Roots, Lion Roar, Forest Dancer, Deep Sea, Forest Shaman, Baroque Eye. Oh my god, that is so freaky. It moves! That is so freaky. Did they hear the elbow protections we were talking about? Shoulder, which does seem to involve cloaks mostly. Okay, undertop, overtop. Game needs a bit to load objects. Basically light and heavy variants of armor. Belts can essentially protect your midsection. Because right now we're basically vulnerable on our midsection. Right. And you can also apparently buy emotes with crystals. Which I'm not sure if you're supposed to grind. But that is a lot of emotes. Are you not entertained? Oh my god, that is such a classic. These are actually a wide variety of emotes you can communicate with. Okay, intros are basically, I guess, how you enter combat. I'm thinking. Because this definitely looks like entering combat. Classic Street Fighter. And then there's the appearance that you can also edit. Very nice to know. Ah, and here you can buy weapons. So there's a wide variety of weapons. Basically you have swords and... Oh, this is how they ordered, okay. You have swords, you have war gloves. And that is actually it. Evidently gloves are blunt, swords are sharp. I think that goes without saying. We've been through armors already, equipment, fair. We can actually make different loadouts. Wherein we can say that, hey, we can just equip heavy armor on the second loadout. And that's the way it's gonna work. While we focus the first loadout on completely light armor, but you can always mix it up. If you feel, for instance, that players often go for the low sections, you can just go for heavier leg armor. Now what's social? Social is... encounters. Allow seamless encounters in the world, but close join by invitation or keyword searches. You can still be invited to join others. Okay, so there's two kinds of matchmakings. Random or organized. Which is... a very interesting way to segregate online gameplay. Recent encounters. These are basically the people that have passed through here recently. You can view your social contacts as well, your friends list, if you will. Oh, and there we go. There's the PvP. 3v3 looks a lot like, I don't know, some sort of conquest mode. Okay, so you can have duels to the death, and you can have 3v3 Dominion. But alternatively, eventually, I believe you will also be able to have some more PvE encounters, or you will encounter them in the world. One of those, I don't know. I have admittedly not played Absolver until now, so... Okay, we must... clear out a few NPCs in the city and the forest before we can advance to newer areas, is what I can get out of this. So I'm guessing the city is in here. Central Harbor, and people can enter the area, but I don't know if you can have open world PvP. I think you're supposed to be able to. Let's roam around here and figure out if there's anything we can find out here. Holy moly, man. That is a lot of dystopian world here. I just heard something, but wow. There's an oration quarter here. And here are some people, which look to be mostly doing nothing. We can of course attack them. Let's see, you'll have to learn more attacks if you want to survive. If an unknown attack hits your guard, you will start learning it. Okay. So basically, if we are attacked by unknown attacks and we manage to overcome the foes with said unknown attacks, we will essentially progress toward learning them, such as is demonstrated over... Oh hey! The rest of the options unlocked. Over here. This little progress bar. To demonstrate, we've been attacked a lot by jab punches. So we're a quarter way to learning them. And apparently we can edit other combat decks, so let me see. I don't think Wargloves have anything more in terms of new movements, but sword attacks, man. Sword attacks ought to allow you to mix it up between cuts and a World Slash. Let me actually see how I can chain this up in a fancy way. Or if I can chain this up in a fancy way. No, I guess we'll stick with this, but there are quite a few attacks. Let's see. Oh hey, a Limbo Thrust. So saying that, okay, a Limbo Thrust starts at the back right. Back left we have an overhead slash. Vertical strike. And of course combos are a thing. Okay, jumping attack from distance and then ends in distance, and they keep chaining back and forth. That's how they're set up. This looks like a strafing attack. And a charge. Or rather, a dash slash. And of course, a weapon modifies your range. But let's actually see what we can do here. We can unlock additional combat styles, which I assume relate to the Windfall styles. And here we have our attacks list. So as we can see, lots of unlockables we have yet to discover. And we have yet to use a sword. And it just occurred to me that these guys are meant to be here for tutorial purposes. Wow, and we have already fallen. Ouch. Alright, so this is where the game gets a little more challenging. And by this point you're probably supposed to already know your attacks. Though I kind of quickly wanted to check one thing. Gestures, okay, we can edit them, set them up like this. Victory jump, got it, got it, got it. Intro. And I believe we have learned once foes attacks. hint, I think we actually recover stamina by dodging. And this one is... This opponent's actually tough. Wow. This one keeps attacking low though, so... If we can by some standard... We can by some standard see the low attacks coming. I guess that one's not pursuing us. And for some reason it would appear that certain people in this world turn to stone when they're lost, I guess, in this dimension. Okay, since we're avoidance oriented, blocks really aren't the way to go. Should probably recover some stamina. Yay. Still, I think my combat style is still highly unoptimized. Hence, I will still need to basically farm more advanced attacks, be it in PvP or PvE. Let's get some more dexterity. Although I could probably stand to gain some more vitality as well, eventually. And I'm guessing that what's face stat, Will, is probably indeed related to the low right skills. One of which is a self-heal. It just makes natural sense to me. What I find interesting about this game is that you are completely left to your own devices to explore it, brave cliffs, and just figure out how to progress, what's going on. But I also think that the amount of room here doubles for PvP, so I don't know how popular Absolver is on PC or Xbox, but there is so much room for PvP in the open world. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a thing there. That sounds like combat. Wow. Well, we just ran into our first player. And I'm not sure what happened. If he unfaced or I don't think he wants to fight us. That other guy was so all in though. I guess I was kinda right, there is room for PvP and not everybody is going to want to PvP. I'm guessing because they're still figuring out the world or not confident enough to go up against players just yet. Or they have progressed so far that they're looking for, you know, other things to do, more advanced foes to fight. Something that's wearing better gear than them maybe. As a hint that they might learn something. You never know with players. But there's plenty incentive to simply go up and fight somebody. Now let's see, essence. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the way to gain essence is to defeat a player. You have to yet defeat a single player to determine whether this is a thing or not. Or I could simply go read it up. Thank the internet. So what really isn't helping is that right now I have no clue where the city and the forest is. So I guess this is going to be a learning phase for me more than anything. But it would appear that I have run into a full circle, which is pretty amazing. Okay, so let's see. If this map is to be believed, then we are here. So up these stairs there is a ramp leading out. Up here there is a ramp leading out. So it stands to reason that there's a way to get down here and get to the midsection over here. Then we can maybe we actually disarmed him. I'm stunned by the prospect that this is possible if this is true. Also, apparently respawning now isn't a thing. I don't know why though. I don't know if there's a system or principle that somehow blocks instant respawns, or if you're supposed to just only be able to do it so often before a cooldown incurs. Both could be a thing. So I'm actually rather amazed that we were able to pick up a weapon, and I'm still puzzled as to whether or not we managed to force a respawn. Where we managed to force a basically a disarm is what I'm trying to say, but my tongue is getting ahead of me. Also, man, I'm trying to hit this dodge button so hard, but it's not working, man. Oh, or maybe we can only fast respawn against NPCs. Mind you, I'm still having a hard time adjusting to the quote-unquote simplistic controls. Did he just... Oh, we just found equipment, so there's that. Okay, there are lost prospects here. Some loot. There's actually a lot of loot lying around. I think that every lost prospect you encounter, that somebody defeats anybody, leaves some sort of loot on the ground that you can simply pick up. I think that's how it works. So, with that being said, let's activate this altar and see what we can modify in terms of equipment. I can see we already picked up some sort of armband. I think it will weigh us a bit down in mobility. We'll still be fast, but a bit worn down by all the weight. See. Leather armband. I guess we're still fast to some degree. And somehow I'm under the impression that... Oh, that's protection. I was confused there for a second. Okay, so at 24, your mobility starts going from fast to basically slower. And anything below 24 ends up being normal. If you wear too much armor, yeah, just start it, man. Welcome to my stream, Emblaze. I'm just basically exploring for now. It's been a game I've been meaning to try out for a while. And play for a while, just never seem to have gotten around it. So I'm still learning the intricacies and the basic mechanics and how to avoid dying to a mob of 4. Holy mother of crap, let's... Okay, I have a bad feeling about this. Also, why are there 2 Renarios? Thought there was supposed to be 1. A bit low on health, so this help is indeed appreciated. Ow. Well, I died to friendly fire there. Let's see now, which way did I run? I think it was this way? I think it was over here. And I think I've gotten 0 credit for defeating him. Which I guess is fair. I imagine something like that online mode will spawn more players depending on how many people are in an area. But I kind of expected unique NPCs to stay unique, so that shocked me for a moment there. But yeah. Is there a way I can view my progress in terms of whether or not I've actually defeated this guy, or do I have to travel all the way back? I need lighter elbow protection. There's a Tear Chief over top I just got. Which is, boy, that is heavy armor. I think maybe it's at least for me that the game briefly lags whenever a player enters an area. I think that's because I don't actually know what it is, but it just feels like I get a short lag. Wow. I've also been wondering for a second, but now I figured it out. The little icons that pop up appear to be the progress you're making towards learning a skill. Okay, I guess he wants to fight. Oh, I can actually revive him. Who knew? So I honestly don't know if I had actually managed to make some progress here. Coffee? Get some green tea. Man, I've been drinking gunpowder tea all month long. It is so good. It is so good. It's like... You all are probably used to tea bags, I'm guessing. Gunpowder tea is more like a Chinese import that doesn't work with tea bags, but instead you have tea leaves that you can put into your cup, pour some water over, and enjoy. And from the quantity of a gunpowder bag, I am actually amazed at how lasting this seems. Like, I don't even need to put a spoonful in to gain the flavor I need. And oh boy, this is laggy. This is laggy. What is even happening? I better pull back. Ow. Okay, so my low attack has been countered with a low attack. That hurts, man. Well, man, I mean, each to their own, but I really recommend you try out any Chinese green tea. It's quite an experience. Especially Especially when you can also just chew the tea leaves. Let's get some endurance in. Oh wait. Some endurance and vitality, because the amount of times we're moving, I feel like we're going to need it. Oh my god. Is this lightweight or is this lightweight? This seems fair. This guy's apparently still bugged. Or just respawned in such a inconvenient location. I actually need to know... Oh, okay. I don't think I can reach it. Oh, I can. But even if I manage to somehow defeat this NPC, I have a feeling I won't be able to reach the loot. Like this one. Oh yeah, I figured that much about mobility. Okay, lag. Well, that happened. And oh my god, is that a sword? That looks very much like a sword to me. Or at least a stick. Close enough. Ah! I see. So you can discard your weapon. Very interesting. Now this will be the Forgotten Temple. I wonder, is there some sort of level to creeps? I like the prospect of being flanked. I'm still unfamiliar with my sword deck, even if I roughly know where the low thrust is. Okay, my weapon broke. Oh, so mobility literally is all about dodging. Okay, gotcha. I was wondering if mobility related to attack speed in any way. Or if it's just the attacks. But I'm guessing it's just the attacks. Wow. I feel a little pressured. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Still learning new skills. So right now our skill loadout is rather basic. What's the actual... oh, I see. Now I believe Jab Punch is half learned. These attacks will all take a while to learn. So I'm guessing by that nature that the game can get very grindy at a point. But at the end of the day, it's all about fighting. There's probably a lot of PvP to keep you occupied. And I'm guessing it helps that every player could have a different set of moves that you simply have to predict as you go. I already seen the amount of skills you can unlock. It's crazy. Equipment. It's basically the same weight, offers less protection. Let's see. I mean, I also have a less mobile loadout. But considering I went with a mobility based style, I figured maybe I should stay in light armor for now. Gotta be very aware of players. Never know when a player will attack you. Never know. Now, is this somewhere I've been? No. This looks very new. And oh boy. Okay. Yikes. Ah! The high kick was a bit too slow, I feel. feel like literally I gotta go into meditation to actually practice it. Or I could just use this guy. I feel like this attack takes way longer than this one. But I guess it is kinda obvious because you do have to jump. And this is a problem again. If I'm not careful, they're gonna push me into a pit. Did I just manage to make an NPC friendly fire? Okay, word of advice, probably you don't want to stand in the middle of a trio of NPCs. And I think I better skedaddle. Wow. Okay, wait for a bit. I think my mana regenerates automatically. I hope, because if a player walks by now and smacks me, I'm basically dead. If I go back here, they basically attack me. If I sprint this way, well, it worked out to some degree. Did this heal me? Yes. Yes. No weapon though. No! Note to thyself, do not rely on the circle button too much. Is this a broken bottle? Is this actually a broken bottle? This is clearly a broken bottle, man. Oh no, it's actually a mace. It looked like a broken bottle at first. Wouldn't that have been funny though? I think I need to switch targets at this point. I actually forgot where my sidestep is. Dodging is hard though, man. I would argue that dodging is harder than parrying, though I don't know if that's a fact. These look a little too familiar. I know this should be more of a reaction strike, the low kick, but this one's running off to the spawn point. Don't you regenerate health in front of me. I just realized the time, so yeah, I'm gonna have to practice a little more to get good at this game. But so far it's fun, it's interesting. And I love the fact that you can feint attacks, which I'm not doing a lot. You can dodge, block, and perform attacks that can basically be evasive as a side effect. So in that respect, the game design is everything I expected it to be. And I expected a lot, man. Let me just get back to the main center, if you will. Oh my god, can't even switch stances in peace, man. But let me just get back to town center, and after that I'll be taking a break, and I shall be back with some battle tech with assault mechs. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Later. See you in probably 15 minutes. Battletech.